What's going on, everyone? It's Steven the Laggy Gamer, and guess what? I finished another game, so we're going to do a game discussion. That game we're going to be talking about today is Asura's Wrath, which I want to always say Asura's Wrath, my American side, but in the game they say Asura or Asura. I'm trying. So Asura's Wrath, that's what we're going to be talking about today. And yeah, pretty fun game. I had some mixed feelings on it with some reviews and stuff that came out. But it's a game that I actually recently picked up. I went to GameStop the other day, and when I do an updated pickups video, I'll show you guys that they're doing a buy two get one free, and there was just nothing I could find. Only thing I wanted was a copy of Nier on the PS3 they had there, and I was just trying to find two more things, but for the life of me, I couldn't. I even told the guys in the chat, I just can't find nothing anymore. But I went ahead and went back the next day and found that and went ahead and picked up the Nier and something else. I'll show you guys in a pickups video. And then I wasn't going to play it right away, but then Alex was telling Dustin in the chat, Return to Mother Base, like, hey, you need to get on Asura's Wrath. And I was like, you know what? I just got that game, so I'm going to play it. And you know what? It was pretty cool, pretty fun ride. And like I said, we'll get into it. But we'll start off with the story. It was a pretty neat story because the way this game works, from a gameplay standpoint, it's almost like you're playing an anime. It's like the best rendition of an anime game that I can think of that I've played. Just the way you interact with the game, and I'll get into that with the gameplay. But the story, it's just like any type of Japanese anime like type of story you can think of with its characters and all. But the story revolves around Asura, and he is a demigod along with other demigods, and they look over this planet called Gaia. And what's going on this planet is there are people on there that they look over, but there is an evil presence there known as the Goma. It's like a demonic presence inside of Gaia that'll spew out every once in a while with an enemy, with the mother of all the enemies of the Goma being Vitra. That's just an enemy that'll explode out of the planet and just take up half the planet, and it's a bad guy. But the Goma, the normal enemies you run into are mainly animals, like these demonic possessed looking monkeys or elephants or turtles, stuff like that. And also some soldiers from another part of the story. But for the most part, you're fighting these Goma, and the story follows like you demigods are there to look over this planet. One day you're down there and you're defending it like you always do, and the Emperor, you get back from your mission, summons you to his area, and you get in there and the Emperor's dead, and you're pretty much framed for killing the Emperor, and the story revolves around you trying to get your family back, because when you're there, your family, your wife gets killed and your daughter gets taken, and Asura is all about getting his daughter back. So it's a story of vengeance, of him wanting to get back at the other demigods who have framed him and who are now trying to kill him and get his daughter back. That is the only thing on his mind. And of course, more stuff unfolds throughout the game. But it's kind of crazy how this story works, because these guys are gods is looking over this planet. But the whole thing they're doing is they want to purify the planet. And their way, or the new guy who took over instead of the Emperor, his way of purifying the planet means you're killing all the humans who are there to take their souls to use as a weapon to fight against the Goma, which it works, but you're killing all these people. So really interesting story there, and it's actually pretty good, pretty cool story. I really liked it. But this game, really what separates it from others is the gameplay aspect. That could turn people off, or it could make you happy. I went into it thinking it was just going to be like Dragon's Lair, like I'm not really playing the game, but I'm hitting buttons once in a while, because all I heard was quick time events, quick time events, quick time events when people talk about the game. And you know what? It is a lot of quick time events, but I was thinking the whole game was like that. There is combat in the game where you're actually like an action game, third-person action game, running around actually doing attacks. And I actually preferred the QuickTime event sections more than those action sections, because it feels like a really dumbed down version of like a God of War or something. Even Killer is Dead, and people knock that combat system. That had so much more depth than this combat system did in it. You're pretty much just hitting the circle button the whole time. I play it on PS3, and that's the only button I'm using until you need to do a finisher, which you hit triangle or heavy attack. And then once you build up a meter, you go into burst mode, and that's normally what progresses you to the next part of the game or the level you're on. As soon as your meter gets high enough, you hit burst, it goes into a quick time event, story rolls on from there. In a boss fight, you fight them until you get that burst meter filled up, activate it, the fight continues on from there. Now, the fight could be multiple parts, but that's how it progresses. There is no health bar, so to say, for a bad guy, or you don't see one at least. And it just the combat system was so dumbed down that I just really enjoyed the quick time events, which made me I really enjoyed watching this game more than kind of playing it. I enjoyed the quick time events, but I really didn't enjoy the actual fighting segments where you're controlling Asura and running around because it felt just so bland. It wasn't just deep enough. But what kept me in it was the quick time events, the story, and just the way this game is a beautiful looking game. Like I said, it's like watching an anime. Just the graphic style of it was beautiful, and I love the voice acting and the characters. Asura, when he gets mad, and you can feel it in his punches, especially in the quick time events, and just when he pisses, when you get him pissed off, you feel it. And that is something that is awesome in the game because it was like I was comparing it to watching like a Dragon Ball Z episode, which I loved watching growing up. And it just kind of felt like that, but a more mature version, a very much more mature version. And Asura was just awesome. I loved him as a character. Plus, his English voice actor is one of my favorites, Liam O'Brien. He's great in everything he does voice acting for, and I just love hearing his voice acting. So the more stuff he's in, because I was going to listen to this in Japanese, but when I saw he was the voice actor, I was like, nope, gotta listen to it in English. But I just thought he did a great job, and like I said, just you could feel Asura's emotion in this game, and that's what I really enjoyed about it. And all the other characters around him that they put him around, the other demigods and stuff like that. Secondary characters he meets throughout the game as well really pack a punch in the game. So it was the story that really kept me enveloped in it. And most of the time, I need a gameplay to hold me into a game. But it did fine for what it was. It did a great job for passing the time. But a lot of time, I felt like, man, some of these segments are just bogging down. I want to hear the story. And if there was like a movie of this, that would be a movie I'd love to watch and get. So, but you know what? I played the game all the way through. There's 18 chapters in it. And then there's a true ending for getting an S rank in a bunch of levels. I couldn't do that. I don't want to put the time in to do it. But so I went ahead and did watch the true ending. And that true ending leads to DLC that you have to play to get the actual ending of the whole thing. And that's something I really don't want to put money into quite yet. So I'm just talking about it now. But they kind of left it, even though it's not the true ending, the ending that I got. I'm okay with. I'm fine with that ending I saw. It ended for me good right there, and I was good to go. But once you watch the cutscene for the true ending, it's like, oh man, now I got to go ahead and play that DLC to see how it really all wraps up. And it's something I might do down the road, but just not right now. This was a nice palate cleanser for now. Great story, and I really love, like I said, the graphics to it. If you could see it, it's just amazing looking graphics to me. I really enjoyed that, but it was the story and the characters that really kept me in the game. The simplified fighting system, anyone can get into it. If you're new to action games, and try this one out because it's so simple. It's just really just basic stuff. But you know what? I enjoyed it, and especially the quick time events, which a lot of people hate. I love those parts of the games. Those were my favorite parts with that story. So that's about really all I could say about this game. Great soundtrack, really fitted. I liked how he's got a friend, Yasha, well, his brother actually, or brother-in-law, who his music just reminded me of Trigun. That was great because it was more of like a Western theme type music. And I really like that kind of stuff in Trigun. Just a lot of things in this game reminded me of some other animes that I really enjoyed. But if there's another one, Asura's Wrath 2, see I said it, Asura's Wrath 2, I would definitely play it. I'd wait for it to get cheap, but it took this one forever to get cheap. As you see, this was $17.99, and it's been out for a while. And I was waiting for it to get under 20 anyways, and it did. I think it was worth the $17.99. The $6.99 more for the rest of it, I don't know yet. We'll see. Maybe later on down the road, but for now, I'm happy with the ending I got. I'm happy with the game I played. You know, it was a good game, so I'd recommend it to you guys if you want to give it a try. So, don't know what's up next. I got a couple things I'm juggling around in mind, so we'll see what the next discussion will be. But until then, I'm Like a Gamer. I'm lagging out.